Hello, we are soldiers and paramedics in the Alpha 2 company in the International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine. We ask for your collaboration for a closed vehicle of quick evacuation since we do not have one at the moment. Because of this, we have unfortunately lost people and wounded people which shouldn't have been in danger. We appreciate your collaboration. Slava Ukraine!
Heroes Slava! And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. And I'm going to do what I was supposed to do yesterday. Pin that in chat. Thank you guys so much for all your donations. We are still at 4,429 euros. Amazing result. Thank you guys so much. Still trying to work out that video. I'm not happy with what I've put together so far. Golby, I need to get a hold of you and get some of this stuff sorted. Just dump the videos on him and let him edit for me. If it helps, Nick, I can give you a wrench too, and you guys can have a wrench fight. Of course, the goal is 10,000 for the truck, but I am very happy with what we're able to do. Of course, this is a community effort. 45 donations. You guys have left such encouraging messages on the wall. I appreciate each and every one of you, including the 14 anonymouses out there. Thank you all so much. Just to get an update on the total, we are at 136,356 euros. Not that far away. Less than a truck and a half to go. Keep up the good work. Of course, everybody doing work to get this done. ATP Geopolitics, 41,294. Dimitri at War Translated, 21,410. Mercado putting out media and videos and all types of other stuff to get fundraising going. Succumus doing work, getting everything going for 16,390. Silicon Curtain, 10,479. Rick the Ukrainian, 8,452. Rick's the Ukrainian Energizer Bunny when it comes to fundraisers. I think he has 6 different fundraisers that he's working right now. Of course, us here in 7th place, 4,429. PSO1 over on Twitter, 3,260. Shills, 2,488. Johnny FD, 1,401. Bill Ipner, 956. And Richard Woodruff, the newest member of the clan for the Christmas tree trucks, 515 euros. Everybody's doing everything they can to get these trucks to the units. I'm I know we just got through Christmas season, starting the new year. If you can't donate, hit a share, hit a like, tweet it out. Over on Blue Sky, I don't know what they're called yet. Send out a post on Blue Sky. Share your favorite person. Say what we're doing here, trying to get this done. Let's get these trucks closed out, and maybe even do another spoonful of horseradish if we get to 5,000. Again, to everybody, thank you so much. Even on the main page, we all know who Nikki Hill is. Yeah, trying to sneak in a cheeky donation on the main page. These are all just to the main page, not donating to anybody in particular, but thank you for the donations here. And of course, to all the units, we're doing what we can to get you your trucks. Making fools of ourselves if needed. Me particularly. If you can, and you can afford it, please click the donation button below or in the top of chat. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate your support for Ukraine. Go in, say hi to everybody here. Blue, Mitch, Andrew, Blonde Bombsheller, the Comedian Core Crew, M35, McPigeon, Kurt, good to see you here. Sirimar, our friend in Ukraine, thank you for coming. God, it has to be early for you. Are you just not sleeping at night, or are you a very early bird? Okay. Blonde, you do realize I could still see his messages when you delete them? And just for that, have fun with the wrench wars. Niels, good to see you. Linda H. McPigeon, Ronnie, good to see you. Hey, I saw Ronnie over on Mercado Stream talking about the latest YouTube drama going on. People deleting VODs of former guests because they're having arguments with them now. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out, Nikki, but I called you out. Nice rhyme there, Nick. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. We actually have snow here. Is it like not even enough to cover the grass, but we have snow. It's also freaking cold. Yeah, real feel of negative 16 Celsius. I'm not saying anything for like tonight and tomorrow night. Oh, Tuesday night. And yeah, those aren't the real temperatures. We get much colder here than what those say. Enjoy my drops, Ken? What do you mean, blonde? Uh, uh, you guys are amazing. I love you guys so much. Let's just hop into it, get into the operational information. As of 8 a.m., January 4th, 2025, regarding the Russian invasion. Oh, if you mean about pinging it out, I had this up for like 5 hours and you didn't ping out a single time. As always, they start with glory to Ukraine. The 1046th day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. In total, 148 combat clashes were recorded over the past 24 hours. According to updated information, yesterday the enemy launched 4 missiles and 64 airstrikes on positions of Ukrainian units and settlements. In those 4 missile attacks, they used 11 missiles and dropped 95 guided aerial bombs in the airstrikes. Russia deployed 2,256 drones. In addition, it carried out almost 5,000 artillery shellings. 230 of those shellings were with MLRS's, multiple launch rocket systems. I did no such thing, Nick. Take that back. Oh. Okay, sorry, I got a little a little flustered with the that little limerick Nick put out. That's good to come up with on the fly. I wish I could do stuff like that. The aggressor carried out airstrikes, in particular in the areas of settlements of Gremyanka, Krotivka, Semyevka, Pompivka, Alexandrivka, Zerkivka, Mykolaievka, Slovansk, Zelený Pol, Grodivka, Milnograd, Koliny, Pokrovsk, Novoandrivka, Novopil, Constantinople, Zelený Pol. Oi. That one's hard. Plotikhatiki. Oh, that one's a rough one. Sitirbaki, Lobkova, Novodanlivka, and Stepnohorisk. Oh, some tough names today. Over the past day, aviation, missile troops, and artillery of the defense forces struck 4 areas of Russian personnel, equipment, a command and observation post, as well as an air defense system of the Russian invaders. Moving into the individual directions, in Kharkiv, our troops repelled 2 enemy attacks in the Voschansk area, and 7 attacks by the invaders took place in the Kupiansk direction over the past day. Defense forces repelled assault actions near Krushivka, Sinkivka, and Zarazova. Moving over to Kharkiv, Voschansk is to the northeast, where the 2 assaults happened, and the 7 assaults in Kupiansk area. Zarazova, Sinkivka, and the other one is a new one as well. Oh no, it's not Krushivka. It's just spelled differently. Okay, maybe it is a new one. Krushivka. That might be... I'm thinking it's this one, but it's just the spelling is weird. Let me see if there's another one with a similar spelling just to make sure. No, I believe it is going to be, unless it's Krushivka here, which would be from this area to the north of Kupiansk. There has been several people pointing out that the Russians are a very short distance from Kupiansk. It's been like this for a long while. These were areas prepped for development of another neighborhood that kind of just fell through. So these areas are not... There's no place to hide. There's a little bit of a tree belt through here, but it's very sparse. Ukrainians are set up in these forests, repelling the Russian attacks. But the supplies to that are, let's say, tricky. Anyways, that is Kupiansk direction. Going to the south to Liman area, which starts up here. Let's go and see what ZSU has to say. In the Liman direction, the enemy attacked 11 times. He tried to advance near Nadia, Makivka, Hirohorivka, Tvrdohiblove, Yampolivka, and in the directions of Cherneshchnya and Zelena Dolna. Nadia, if I remember correctly, yes, Nadia is here. One of those small towns you just can't see the name of unless you zoom really far in on Deep State. Makivka, Hirohorivka, Hirohorivka is over here, but these other ones are really small towns that I don't exactly remember where they are at. Of course, Yampolivka is here. You know, we know Terny, Ivanovka. And you can see, like, there's even settlements that are not named even on this map. So, unfortunately, for those other settlements, Cherneshchnya is here. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to spot where those other settlements are for you. Those other settlements Trevir de Blohovi, and Zelene Dolna. It's just hard to spot them. In the service direction, just south of Liman, the enemy twice attacked the positions of our defenders near the settlement of Bilogorivka. In the Kramatorsk direction, 10 clashes were recorded in the areas of Chasiv Yar, Bilohora, and in the directions of Predetechny and Stupochka. Liman is here, Servisk is here, Bilohorivka is at the top edge of the Servisk area. Moving down towards, again, Liman, Slovansk, Kramatorsk, and Konstantinivka, Chasiv Yar, Stupochki, Pretechny, and you have to zoom in, and Bilohora pops out. 10 assaults in that area. Go directly south of Chasiv Yar, you'll run into Toretsk, our next area of information. In Toretsk direction, the enemy carried out 7 attacks near the settlements of Divlivka, Toretsk, and Sicherebryanka. Sicherebryanka is here, Toretsk, and Divlivka is here, but it's also here, so I'm not sure which town they're referring to, but they're pretty close to each other. So in this general area. Moving on from Toretsk, we get to the area of the main assault, the Pokrovsk direction, where our defenders stopped 40 assaults and offensive actions of the Russian Federation in the areas of the settlements of Vagyany Druj, Berevianka, Mirolubivka, Promin, Novoolinka, Novoveslivka, Ukrainka, Lisivka, Zeleny, Novotrud, Pishkyany, Zerzerovo, Solon, Koltiny, and in Pokrovsk itself. It's a long list, and well, it covers pretty much the entire area. Kalinova, Berenivka, Mirolubivka, Romin, Lisivka, Zeleny, Novotrud, Pishkyany, Kotelin, Solon, Novoveslivka, Utpensivka, and they didn't mention Elizabethivka, but they mentioned Novoolenivka, which is here. Yeah, pretty much the entire front in the Pokrovsk area was under attack yesterday. No real advances were made to the east of the city, the west of the city, but minor advances were made over by Belyanka. Let me just zoom in here so you guys can actually see what Russians are fighting and dying for every day. Half of a farm field. Okay, so maybe 2 farm fields when you add up all the partials together. Can you imagine 1,000 losses a day for a farm field? No, they're not. I wish they were looking for weak spots. Unfortunately, they're not. Their goal right now is to cut off supplies along this road and this rail line. This line is essentially shut off because it's within drone range and artillery range. This rail line here and this road are the main injection of supplies into Pokrovsk. And then this road here is the supplies from Konstantinivka and Toretsk, Chasiv Yar. They want to cut this road. If they can cut those roads and the ground does not freeze, it hasn't frozen yet, it's still muddy, that adds difficulties to the supply of Pokrovsk, Mirnograd, Toretsk, and Chasiv Yar. Of course, there is other routes for supplies, but the more Russia's able to cut, the more difficult supplies become. I'm not saying that Russia is stupid, but their tactics are idiotic, but they know, sending meat waves is utter lunacy. But they know what goals to reach, what's going to hurt morale, and that's what they go after. And unfortunately, they're sacrificing thousands of troops a day to achieve those goals that they set. Yeah, exactly, general consensus. Not even 0.5% of Ukrainian territory. They literally have captured like the size of Kyiv twice in 2024. Not a huge area, but they've sacrificed 500,000 people for it. Not to mention how many billions of dollars in equipment. This isn't a war for a goal. This is Putin trying to save face because he got himself in over his head and doesn't want to admit it. And if he reaches his goals of reaching the Donetsk border, he doesn't have to admit he made a mistake. He can say, we accomplished our goals. Losses don't matter. We accomplished our goals. That's the type of person that people are saying they need to negotiate with. You can't negotiate with him. He's trying to make him... He's worried about his own ego, not about anything else. It's not even that life is cheap with Russia. Life has no value whatsoever in Russia. It's been that way for hundreds of years. You look back at World War II, and Russia was sending like 1,000-man unit to hold back the German advance. But between those 1,000 men, they maybe had 10 rifles. The rest were armed with sticks and whatever else they could grab. And they'd send waves of thousands of people at the Germans just to make the tanks stop because they couldn't get over the bodies anymore. That is the value of a Russian soldier to Russia. You're a speed bump for the tank at best. Pokrovsk is getting very, very concerning. If Russians are able to reach, like even here, if they take Kotliny, they could put this road and this rail line under artillery fire, which will make supplies to Pokros difficult. Well, more difficult. Like this, there's 3 paved roads left. The one that leads out through Mirnogorod, the one that leads up here, this goes towards Dnipro, and this one goes off towards Zaporizhia. Zoom out a ways here. So this road, the bottom road, eventually comes down here towards Zaporizhia. This top road, you can zoom in and follow it in the railroad, and road ends up in Dnipro. I think going through Pavlograd. But yeah, that's the main avenues of supplies for Pokros right now. Going down to Khodorkova next, it's getting even more concerning, is the best way I could put it, I guess. Khodorkova, the defense forces repelled 11 attacks of our troops near Petropavlivka, Serebryny, Khodorkova, and Surchenko. Cross area, we stopped with Novoolinka. I'm assuming they are talking about this settlement here when Serebryny, or however that's pronounced, I'm not sure, because I have not been able to find Serebryny at all, even on Google Maps. They may be talking about this city with a different name, but Petropavlivka is here, Surchenko, and of course Khodorkova. But yeah, that one city, this city, I have not been able to find. I'm guessing it's a translation error in the name, and it just may as well be maybe the city here, just with a different name or a different spelling. As you can see, Russians are slowly taking control of Surchenko. Ukrainians are fighting their hardest in this area. It's unfortunate, but they're being overwhelmed by the wave of zombies, or Z's. The Russian disease, I don't know. Actually have a video of the Surchenko village. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Moving not far from Khodorkiv into the Vermits direction, the enemy carried out 11 offensive actions against the positions of Ukrainian units in the areas near Yantarny, Constantinople, and Novoselka. Again, don't have to go far. Constantinople. Yantarny is the last settlement of this southern pocket area that Ukraine controls, and Novoselka is over here on the other side of Vermika and Velika Novoselka. It's not the greatest situation. Ukraine is doing the best they can with the supplies they have, facing the waves of meat that they are. In the Orikhiv direction, our troops repelled one enemy attack near the settlement of Novoandrivka. Enemy aviation was actively operating in the direction. In the Dnipro, Russian invaders twice stormed positions of our units without success. They don't give us any settlement names or island names to work with, but I'll do the best I can covering that. No news from Guliopol. Orhiv, one attack towards Nova Andriivka, and the two attacks along the Dnipro. It could be anywhere along this front, but in general, Russia is trying to get positions on these islands to have better firing positions at Kherson. So I assume that the assaults are happening in this river delta area. The operational zone in Kursk. Units of the defense forces of Ukraine have repelled 41 attacks by Russian invaders over the past 24 hours. In addition, the enemy launched 3 missile strikes and 10 airstrikes, using 3 missiles and 15 guided bombs, as well as carried out 357 artillery attacks on the positions of our troops and settlements. Big jump up from yesterday in Kursk. Hate seeing these big jumps in numbers, but seems like it's becoming the thing as Russia uses everything they have, has to take a break for a couple days to move more people in, and then the assaults start happening again. The enemy did not conduct any assault operations in the Guliopol direction over the past day. In the Volyn and Polizia directions, no signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups were detected. Nick is a goat. On the border with Chernihiv and Sumy regions, the enemy from the territory of the Russian Federation is actively using artillery and aviation in the areas of Ukrainian settlements. Our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses on the occupation forces in manpower and equipment, and actively undermine the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. They go into the losses. We'll cover that with a graphic. Join the defense forces. Razom do Peremojemo and Slava Ukraina. I wouldn't know that blonde. I haven't been that close to him. Let me pull up the losses for Russia in the last 24 hours. Total combat losses of the enemy as of January 4th, the 1046th day of the full-scale Russian invasion. Please note, this is just since the full-scale invasion. The war Russia has been waging on Ukraine has been going on since 2014. Today, Russia lost 1,510 personnel, bringing the total to 794,760 people that Russia has lost. That is an amazing number of losses. It's sickening that Russia can throw away an entire demographic, an entire portion of their demographic for a war for nothing. Okay, don't make people cry in my chat. I'd rather see the jokes. Russia also lost 2 tanks today, 23 armored personnel vehicles, 23 artillery systems, 107 UAVs, another helicopter, 3 cruise missiles, and 73 vehicles. Oh, what did I do? Welcome, Keypole Equipment. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the stuff going on in chat too. So he's using Chat GPT. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing the number of vehicles skyrocket. Oh, go over the air alerts today because it's really quick. Just the Donetsk region is under air alert, has been for the last 33 minutes. Kharkiv, Sumy, and Chernihiv was on air alert before. I've been watching this map throughout the day, and explosions were reported in Kharkiv, Sumy, another city in Sumy, Kherson, a city in Kiev region was hit today. And I kind of made me want to show you guys pictures of that. So I gathered some pictures together in Telegram. But first, let's get Zelensky's speech.
Дорогі українці, українки, зараз
And
тривають
of
рятувальні
course,
роботи
I
у Свесі,
always
селищі
forget
Сумській
to do
області
this
після
before I
удару.
start playing it.
Дорогі українці, українки, зараз тривають рятувальні роботи у Свесі, у селищі в Сумській області після удару російських бомб. Дорогі українці, українки, зараз тривають рятувальні роботи у Свесі, у селищі в Сумській області після удару російських бомб. Влучання в будинок, зруйнований під'їзд, квартири з 1 по 5 поверхи. Пошкоджені також сусідні будинки. Ще один російський удар по життю звичайних українських сімей. 7 людей поранені, серед них дитина, дівчинка, 2 роки їй зараз знаходиться в лікарні. Всім постраждалим надається необхідна допомога. Були сьогодні також удари керованими авіабомбами по іншим селам нашої Сумщини, по Миропіллю, по Вільній Слободі, а також по Харківщині. Сьогодні ж завершилась рятувальна операція в Чернігові після ракетного удару. Там більше 40 будинків і будівель були зруйновані та
More than 40 buildings were destroyed in Chernihiv. Well, destroyed or damaged. This is a multiple family unit. It just goes to show you that Russia is not attacking the troops, they're attacking the civilians with these missiles and drones and everything else.
Пошкоджені. На жаль, в Чернігові був загиблий. Мої співчуття. І це незмінне завдання посилювати нашу ППО. Зараз вже готуємось до зустрічі в Рамштайні. На цей тиждень запланована зустріч. Десятки країн-партнерів, і серед них є ті, хто може збільшити нашу спроможність не тільки у захисті від ракет, але й у захисті від керованих бомб, від російської авіації. Будемо про це з ними говорити, будемо переконувати, життя потребує захисту тут і зараз в Україні. І системи ППО мають для цього працювати. Я хочу подякувати всім партнерам, які це розуміють і які допомагають нам із розвитком повітряного щита. Сьогодні ж детально доповідав головком Сирський щодо наших дій на фронті. По всій лінії фронту тривають жорсткі бої, найбільш гаряче на Покровському напрямку. Окупант продовжує витрачати шалену кількість своїх людей в штурмах. І я
I love how he puts this. The occupier continues to waste an insane number
шалену
of people
кількість
in
своїх
its
людей в
assaults.
штурмах. І я дякую кожному нашому підрозділу, всім нашим бригадам, які захищають українські позиції та забезпечують знищення окупанта. Головком доповів також по ситуації в Курській області, зокрема, в боях сьогодні та вчора в районі тільки одного села Махновка на Курщині російська армія втратила до батальйону піхоти північно-корейських солдатів і російських десантників. І це відчутно. Загалом я хочу відзначити за професійні та результативні дії наших воїнів сил, спеціальних операцій та 80-ту окрему десантно-штурмову бригаду. Ми маємо всі пам'ятати, щодня тривають бойові дії, щодня Росія завдає терористичних ударів. Щодня маємо підтримувати нашу армію, всі наші сили оборони та безпеки України, бути активними у відносинах з партнерами, не втрачати зв'язків і будувати нові, а також збільшувати наше власне оборонне виробництво та залучати необхідну оборонну допомогу. Кожного тижня потрібен новий результат. І, безумовно, в цьому році буде багато дипломатії, і Україна більше за всіх прагне миру. Справжня дипломатія така, яка нам потрібна, може базуватись тільки на наших сильних позиціях. Безумовно, нашої армії, усього нашого народу, нашої держави. Дякую всім, хто посилює Україну. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. And of course, at the end there, thanking everybody who supports and strengthens Ukraine. That's you guys. Keep up the good work. It is noticed. It is appreciated. Thank you. And of course, in the middle of his speech, showing what happened in some of the areas that Russia hit over the last couple days. Going into the Telegram feeds for today. I wish I could show you guys all the videos that I've watched. Many of those would violate YouTube's guidelines, so I am not able to show them, but I do the best I can with the videos I can show you. Starting with the drones for today, 34 UAVs were shot down, 47 lost in location. All UAVs were unable to reach their target. However, some of the shot down drones still caused damage, falling on houses and other buildings when they were shot down. One of these One person killed and one injured as a result of shelling of Stepnohorsk in the Zaporizhia region by a multiple launch rocket system. This is why I like seeing the MLRSs taken out. There is no pinpoint accuracy with MLRSs. They go where they go. They hit a general area, and unfortunately, it was this house of a private citizen. In the Sumy region, the invaders attacked 43 settlements in Sumy. Thankfully, nobody was killed, but 5 civilians were injured. 6 private homes, 2 cars, and business buildings were also damaged. Here are some of those pictures. Right in the middle of a neighborhood. Not even the outhouses are safe. Private residence. You see some of the debris where they're cleaning up. The roof of a private residence. The debris in the yard. Demining crews going in, making sure there's nothing dangerous left by the shells. Windows broken out, thrown into the home of the residents. And this kind of falls in with like the after hours stuff we did last night. Look how thick those walls are. Yes, bricks are not the greatest insulator, but when you have that thick of walls, once those bricks are warm from your heater, it's going to take a lot of cold for you to feel that inside the house. The 37th Marine Brigade repelling a meat wave near Kurakova. So one APC gets taken out. A second APC tries to run away and gets tracked. Ukrainians come in with more drones to make sure these things are not salvageable by the Russians. And then they proceed to chase down the troops. But this is the tactic Russia's using right now. Push the troops as far as they can go, drop them off in a forest line, and their only job at that point is to sit there in that forest line and try to stay alive. So that the next push of troops can go farther into Ukrainian territory. And like that's their whole job. That's to try and stay alive in these forest belts. And thank you, 36th Marine Brigade, for sharing that video with us. Ukraine decided to send Leningrad a present this morning to try and warm things up. And you see it flying in there. And this is the gas and oil refinery in Leningrad. And Ukraine making sure it stays nice and toasty. But according to Russia, all UAVs were shot down and none of them reached their target, even though we know differently. This is a village near Khodorkova. Actually, I can even probably show you which village it is. If we go back towards Khodorkova, you'll see the village here is Shevchenko. This is in the bend in the road here. This is in this area right here. So
50 метрів, як прийняв прийом.
one Ukrainian tank comes in. Here comes the second one.
Ліворуч.
And
Працюй, бачиш?
Russians are occupying these buildings. And this is how you get rid of a Z infestation.
Крот, зроби азимут 30, там в кінці вулички будинок, азимут 30.
Now note that they're not trying to liberate this settlement. They're just trying to
Подякувати.
clear out as many positions as they can.
Чудово, Крот, молодець.
They'll keep an eye on this area and see what happens. And if they deem it's able to be liberated, they'll send in ground troops at a later date. But you just see them going building after building. The first tank used up its ammo and left. Second tank used up its ammo and heads out after it, sending smoke just in case they get fired upon as they're leaving. Unfortunately, the fuel oil spill has reached Sevastopol, so Crimean beaches are now being affected by this nasty sludge.
Охереть. Вот это жижа. Бля, ну это мешки маленькие, походу, да?
Again, Russia is making very little to no effort cleaning this up. These are individuals just going out trying to clean it up as best they can on their own. Andrew, you've muted yourself, not me. Again, Russia hitting civilian buildings. Today, the enemy carried out an airstrike with a guided aerial bomb on a high-rise building in the Shashta city in Sumy region. It is preliminarily known that 2 children and 1 adult were injured. The entrance of the apartment building was destroyed. Emergency rescue operation is underway. There may be people under the rubble still. That was at the time of this photo. Yeah, to hit the entryway, tell me that wasn't a planned hit, that it, that's what they were aiming at. You don't just randomly hit the entrance to a building. The reason Russians are targeting the entrance to the building is like the strongest part of an apartment is the entryway in Ukraine. So when the air alerts go off, rather than going down to the basement, people will sit in their entryway right as you enter the apartment. It's kind of like going to the bathroom during a tornado. They'll go into that area. So you hit the entry of the building and you hit where everybody's trying to take shelter. That's not a coincidence. This was an intended attack on a residential building. A Russian recon drone heading back into Russia. Didn't know how to avoid power lines. Okay, my stomach is telling me I need to take a break. So, I'm going to leave this one on repeat for you because it's such a cool video. But a forward supply depot of Russia's is taken out. Enjoy. I'll be right back. Okay, that was supposed to be on repeat. Okay, sorry about that. That was supposed to be on repeat. Play it one more time. always nice seeing the supplies that, you know, they spent all that effort getting this thing, the supply depot set up near the front for the Russians. And the 3rd Assault Brigade goes, nope, can't have that. And it looks like this section was ammunition. This section was food. You know what? Apparently what Russia thinks their army runs on is ammunition. Again, Russians dropped 4 glided air bombs on the border town of Semivka in Chernihiv. They targeted the central part of a residential building. 7 people were wounded. Also, an administrative building, a hospital, a cafe, residential buildings, and civilian cars were damaged. This is the building across the way. What's left of one of the houses. You know, targeting the entryway again. And 2 of the same picture. I didn't realize that until just now. I'm going to call you Mel. Hi, Mel. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming to the stream. I'm not a clone. I'm a Jedi. These aren't the droids you're looking for. But these are the interviews you're looking for. People doing interviews inside Russia. Let me pause, get that to beginning. And here you go with subtitles.
При той ситуации, которая уже нечего делать, уже нечего. Мне 82. Вот столько я уже пережила, ту войну пережила. Я знаю, как я была голодная. И сейчас такая же голодная.
Если вот у нас, у молодых, будущее хотя бы какое-то вот во всей...
Вы не бойтесь, потому что вы боитесь. Вы всего боитесь, вы боитесь сказать. Не бойтесь. Если будете бояться, ничего не будет.
Хоть раз вообще голосовали за Путина?
Нет. Вы что, с ума сошли? Он
Did you vote for Putin? No, are you crazy?
Его ж не любили, его не признавали. Он задался целью, что вырасту я.
Well, I need to leave it alone so you guys can read the...
Это нищая жизнь. Но он смеется над нами и все.
Путин, покайся. Перед тем, как уйти, улизнуть, прямо покайся. По всем каналам России пусти, поклонись, на колени встань. Покайся перед Россией за эту разруху.
Вообще вся страна запущена. Одна на сходках там делите нашу Россию. Это, как говорится, жирный пирог. Но ведь от него кусать должен наш народ. Наш народ должен кусать.
Just in case you missed it, I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to keep my fingers off the mouse so you can actually read the subtitles. Tell Putin to go fuck himself.
Уже нечего делать, уже нечего. Мне 82. Вот столько я уже пережила, ту войну пережила. Я знаю, как я была голодная. И сейчас такая же голодная.
Если вот у нас, у молодых, будущее хотя бы какое-то вот во всей...
Вы не бойтесь, потому что вы боитесь. Вы всего боитесь, вы боитесь сказать. Не бойтесь. Если будете бояться, ничего не будет.
Хоть раз вообще голосовали за Путина?
Нет. Вы что, с ума сошли? Он за злющим заморышем рос. Его ж не любили, его не признавали. И он задался целью, что вырасту я вас всех. Вот он это и сделал.
Это нищая жизнь. Но он смеется над нами и все.
Путин, покайся. Перед тем, как уйти, улизнуть, прямо покайся. По всем каналам России пусти, поклонись, на колени встань. Покайся перед Россией за эту разруху.
Вообще вся страна запущена. Одна на сходках там делите нашу Россию. Это, как говорится, жирный пирог. Но ведь от него кусать должен наш народ. Наш народ должен кусать.
Oh, thank you for the double X, Aussie T. But yeah, that makes me smile because when the babushkas are telling you, people listen in Russia. So that now that the babushkas are coming out and saying, fuck Putin, he was an evil little bastard growing up, don't listen to him, don't be afraid of him, maybe Russians will start to listen. Or are starting to listen. Anyways, good to see. Yeah, just it's nice to see the attitude in Russia changing from we're not political to fuck Putin. Go tell Putin to fuck himself. That makes me smile. Moving on to the next video, we have some SOF artillery putting in some work for you. Short little video, but very nice to see. We have a few more videos of the Leningrad strike. I guess somebody wanted to keep an eye on their chickens. And you see the strike happen in the background. One more time so you can watch it up here. But all drones were shot down. None of them hit their targets. Drones can't carry that big of a payload. And one more. Let me boost the sound on this one a little bit and play it again. That's a hell of a big explosion for a drone that was shot down. You gotta protect those eggs. I think Afghanistan was 15,000 dead, but it was 500,000 casualties, wounded. That was my benchmark at the beginning of the war, that Russia won't even think about pulling out until after 500,000. And here we are at 800,000. And well, you see the reaction from the babushkas now. Only after 800,000 casualties, roughly. I'm not playing her speech. I don't do US politics here. You know, Mercado Media is great for politics. He's a reporter. I'm just a guy that loves Ukraine, that wants to share what's really going on. But this is important for Ukraine and for those of you that support Ukraine, because we all know Trump will try to take credit for deliveries that are happening. The U.S. will not be able to deliver all the aid to Ukraine by January 20th. Pentagon spokeswoman Sabrina. Military equipment is coming out of warehouses gradually, so deliveries could continue even into Trump's term. Keep this in mind, because you know Trump is going to try to take credit for deliveries that happen after he's inaugurated that were approved under Biden. So just because it arrives under Trump doesn't mean he sent it. Keep that in mind, folks, and watch. Uh-oh. Gotta sneeze. Well, I tried not to sneeze too much. Watch this repelling of a Russian assault by the 79th Air Assault Brigade. Yeah, you'd think that M35, the Berlin airlift was an amazing feat. Unfortunately, we've had politicians involved far too much in our military, and I don't think we can do that now. The attack in the Sumy region, you guys should recognize this place now. The entryway. So some other still photos of them trying to clear the debris in front of the entryway to this apartment building. And for you, Andrew P3, and there's Venus. I wish I was there to watch this unfold. I'm so thankful that I do have friends in Kyiv that can send me photos like this. And Blonde, if you're still in chat, the 42nd griefing Russian cars in the Kharkiv direction. For those of you that don't know, Blonde is basically the go-between for Viper and essentially YouTube. And Viper is part of the 42nd Mechanized Brigade. And here's a video from them today in the Kharkiv direction. that one's for you, Viper. Thank you for the work you do. Stay safe out there, buddy. And that is all the videos I have for you today. Kremlin refuses to alter conditions for ending the war. International... I forgot what ISW means. Russia is deliberately distorting the legislation and constitution of Ukraine regarding elections under martial law, and also has no intention of giving in on the conditions of ending the war, which have not changed since 2021. And that's all I have for you on Telegram. Oh no, I got to sneeze. Sorry, I wasn't able to mute. Oh. Instead, well, good thing with that sneeze is it popped my back, so my back feels better. No, instead of working with anybody on and making any concessions about a peace in Ukraine, they vow retaliation after saying it downed 8 U.S.-made long-range missiles. Russia says they shot down 8 missiles and they were U.S. supply. Kaz, I'll do that if... Well, it did go up by 100. So 470 euros to go. And I will do another spoonful of horseradish. Let's see if the person that donated 100 left a note. Kathy Sumner, in memory of Victor, call sign Moses, who was memorialized by Scripps, the Moses videos on YouTube. Watch it if you can. Rest in peace, hero. I will look that up and have that. Let's look it up now. Yeah, I thought that would happen. A lot of actual Moses. Well, I'll look that up at a later time and get those videos some views. Yeah, it is the weekend. Everybody's trying to get the audience to this is just my daily time slot, so don't feel bad if you can't watch live and watch the video later. As long as you watch, I appreciate it. Kathy Sumner, thank you very much for your 100 euro donation. Getting me 100 euros closer to the next spoonful of horseradish. I won't take a spoonful, but apparently only one nostril's working. But I can breathe really good through that one nostril. Oh, even my eyes are watering with just a sniff. That's why you get a bidet, Marshall. So, again, I thank you all for your donations. The link is in the description below. It's also pinned to the top of chat. If you can afford to, I'd appreciate it very much. Of course, Kathy, since you did donate 100 euros, don't forget to go in and apply and give your information to have the pin sent to you. I believe Dark, this is horseradish I grew in my garden and processed December 15th or 16th. Yeah, that's stuff I grew. That's not is there mild horseradish? You can make it less hot by adding other ingredients to it. One of those is mixing it with mayonnaise, so it's more of a spread and just adds a little bit of heat for the quantity used. But no, this is... Let me go to full cam here. Excuse my messy bed. I was in the middle of doing laundry. But see if I can get a good shot of that. This is peeled, chopped up in a food processor, put into the jar with like a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of vinegar, vacuum sealed, and left to sit. That's all there is in it. Some recipes add sugar. I don't, because, well, I'm trying to cut sugar out of my diet and lose weight. It's just very hard to do with the American lifestyle. You know, you can't walk to the grocery store and walk back, because my grocery store's 19 miles one way. So yeah, like walking anywhere where I'm at is like odd. I'm not sure what an Indian turnip is. No, it's different. I can tell you that from just the pictures here. That's not quite what I had. That's basically it, but mine grew a little bit different because my ground's different. But this is the root you dig out of the ground. You peel off this brown stuff until you get to a clean white, like this. Yeah, this is basically what the leaves look like. It's just one broad leaf. And you see here, like, people mixing it with cream or salad dressing. People add it to cheese to give the cheese flavor. I really enjoy it with my homemade mustard. But yeah, you just basically cut this off. You put this back in the ground and it will grow again. You know, this is basically what you get when you dig it out. You chop the tops off, replant the tops, and then this is all your horseradish. Oh. Yeah, the stuff I grow was when I was in Ukraine early this spring, my friend's mother gave me a couple slices like this of horseradish to plant. I let it grow throughout the season, and I ended up with a patch, about, I'd say 2/3 of a meter, 2 feet by like 1.5 feet. So it wasn't a big area, but big enough to can like 10 of these jars. It's a good way to clean out your sinuses. The only other thing I'd compare it to is like wasabi sauce or wasabi. Similar heat, similar flavor. Not this year, Ronnie, but maybe next year. I've thought about that as a business idea in Ukraine, is produce garden products, herbs, spices, stuff like that, dry them out and ship them out in bulk from Ukraine, and sell spices from Ukraine. I think it'd be a really good business, especially to support the troops. But yeah, it's if you ever go to Arby's, you can get horsey sauce, which is basically mayo mixed with horseradish. It'll clear your sinuses out, and the thing I like about it is it's not hot to be hot, it's hot to add flavor. Again, thank you everybody for your donations. I love you all very much for supporting Ukraine and supporting this cause. These trucks will save lives. There's no doubt about that. Lynn S says, my mill used to add beets to her horseradish. What does MIL stand for? Horseradish and shrimp. That's interesting. Oh yeah, horseradish as a rub before you barbecue steaks. Oh, mother-in-law. Okay. Yeah, the campaign is really close to being done. 1,300 or 136,356. Very close to being done. So what, 10,000, 13,644 left to go, or euros. If you can't make a donation, like I said, share it, tweet it out, send a note through Blue Sky. you don't have to send money. Just make sure the message is out there. Share one of these videos with the link to the donor page. You know, just get these guys the trucks they need. You know, I don't get me wrong. I won't think anything less of you guys if you can't afford it. I know what it's like to be on a tight budget. You know, I'm here in the USA living on $1,490 a month. So trust me, I get money being tight. Oh, Blonde, you're back. You missed the video of the 42nd Brigade. Thank you, Blonde, for saying I've done well. I haven't done well. I've been the conduit for you guys to do well. You know, this is what I've been able to do. And that. So 115 euros. That's what I could do. The rest of this is you guys. I'm not going to take credit for your guys' work. This is all you guys. Thank you so much. I can't say that enough. Okay, so you did see it, yeah. Yeah, so Russia is not backing off their, you know, you must give us land, this, and everything we want. And at the same time, vowing retaliation for supposedly 8 missiles that Ukraine launched that were U.S. made. Well, who's Russia vowing retaliation against? I'd love it for them to try and something against the United States, because then we would get involved. According to CNN, Russia has vowed retaliation after claiming to have shot down 8 U.S.-made ATACMS missiles fired by Ukraine on Saturday morning. Moscow sees the use of such missiles, which have a range of 300 kilometers, as an escalation. Moscow sees anything that doesn't go their way as an escalation. So what else is new? The country's air defenses shot down 8 ballistic missiles. Yeah, Russia would consider those ballistic missiles, wouldn't they? Alongside 72 aircraft-type drones. The Ministry of Defense later added these actions by the Kyiv regime, which is supported by Western curators, will be met with retaliation. But not against who? The statement said several drones were destroyed in Leningrad, in the northwest, and one in Kursk, where Ukraine launched a surprise attack late last summer. Biden approved Kyiv's use of ATACMS in November. It's all crap we know. Russia replied with an Orezhnik. So if you're going to come at the U.S., Mr. Putin, bring it. I would love to see the comments from Mega after that. Oh, screw my back hurting. I'd be out dancing a jig. We went to war for 20 years in Afghanistan because of September 11th. Imagine what we'd do to Russia if you sent one of those Orezhnik chestnut missiles to the U.S. Come on, do it. I don't care if it's a village of 10 people in Alaska. You're going to never live that down. Basically, because you're never going to live that long. So yeah, who are you vowing retaliation against? Just like any bully, he's not going to come after... I doubt they'll come after the U.S. No, they'll do something against Ukraine. That's how bullies work. They pick on those that they think can't defend themselves, but Ukraine has been proving them wrong for 3 years now. Let's see. The next story. All the rules are different. Ukraine braces for deal maker Trump to enter negotiations. You got, okay, if Trump's the deal maker, Putin's the deal breaker. Unfortunately, Zelensky and Ukraine stuck in the middle. Yeah, more about that brigade that got reshuffled. How drones transformed the war in Ukraine. Yeah, remember that from yesterday where New York Times was calling it a suicide drone. Apparently, New York Times does not know definitions of words. Anthony Blinken insists he and Biden made the right calls. Of course, New York Times. Moldova breakaway region faces extended blackouts after gas cutoff. Oh, this has been hilarious to watch. Of course, it is a result of Ukraine shutting off the Russian gas. Here's the thing you need to know. You don't need to read all this BS news stories that make you read 5 minutes of crap. I'll tell you right now. Transnistria is a Russian puppet state. Their only source of income was from the gas flowing through the pipeline that went through Ukraine, through Moldova, and into the EU. That was their only income source. That ran all their businesses, all their power plants was run from that gas. Ukraine shutting it off. Yes, it hurt those power plants and businesses. The EU offered to send gas from the reserves that they have in the EU to help Transnistria. Transnistria refused. The reason Transnistria is in the dark right now is because their leadership have their head so far up Putin's butt that they don't care that their people are suffering because the gas isn't Russian gas. They could be operating just fine, operating normally, have the income from their businesses, have electricity, but no. Not Russian gas. Nope, we can't take it. Putler has their hand up their butt so far. that's what they chose. Again, New York Times, I wish they'd stop recommending you because you're such a, pardon my language again, asshat of a newspaper. Are the Russian sanctions working? We see them working. We know they're working. They're not working as well as we hoped because Russia has been finding holes in that in importing through third countries, but they are working. Otherwise, they wouldn't be at 38% home mortgage interest rates. Where's that news story from yesterday? Or did they delete it because it was too bad against Russia? Why did Ukraine halt the flow of Russia's gas? We all know why. Yeah, we all heard about that. The rest of this is all old. I think that pretty much covers the news. There was one story I would have loved to done yesterday. I forgot about it, and apparently it is no longer here. Well, sometimes that's how things go. They say something they don't check, don't fact check, and rather than apologizing for it and saying we were wrong, they just delete it and continue about their day. That's all I have from the news. So let's go back to talking with you guys in chat. Yeah, Putin's bringing everybody back to the Stone Age. That's pretty much it. Oh, you're not bringing Putin to Mar-a-Lago? I agree with you, Dark. Ukraine should have cut off Russian gas pipelines after Russia invaded, but there's a difference between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine honors the deals it makes and does every single effort it can to complete and stick by their word. Not just with the Russian gas, but with the wheat to the Middle East, supplying food to Lebanon, several countries in Africa. Despite Russians threatening to sink ships exporting grain, Russians attacking grain storage facilities in Ukraine, Ukraine did everything in its power to fulfill those contracts they had to deliver food while they're under attack. Yes, it helps their economy being able to export that, but they could have just said, no, we'll put our efforts towards something else. You know, like getting Russia out of our country. But no, they put that effort into rebuilding those grain loading docks in Odessa. They put effort into rebuilding grain storage, transporting grain storage, all while being attacked by Russia. Yeah, and that's the thing. general consensus points out that Hungary and Slovakia and Austria have been paying $7 billion to Russia for gas last year. Ukraine was only getting $700 million for transporting that gas across their country. Why provide 100 times more money to Russia than they receive? They completed the deal. They stood up they held true to their word. They completed the deal that they signed up for. Deal was over, done. Well, Dark, don't get me wrong, because Ukraine is very much an outlier with that. Unfortunately, I've become to hate my government because we don't stick up to our word anymore. We say one thing and do the other. Well, the U.S. government does. For example, the Budapest Memorandum, that we promised to protect and respect their international borders for giving up nuclear weapons. Like 1,200 and some nuclear weapons that Ukraine had that they let go of for the U.S. saying, U.S., Russia, and Great Britain, this was Putin himself. We will respect your international borders and protect your international borders to give up those nukes. And here we are debating whether we should support Ukraine or not in fucking Congress. Sorry, I had to. There was a time when the government did what it said it would do in America. Unfortunately, that time seems to have passed. I'm disappointed and angry at our government for that. And that's just one case, one deal that we've not held up our end. Another instance involving Ukraine. Back when Trump was president before, and Biden was going to run against him, we were contractually obligated to send military assistance to Ukraine. Trump cut off that military assistance for 3 years and held it over Ukraine's head, asking for dirt on Hunter Biden because Hunter Biden was doing business in Ukraine. They wanted dirt on him, like what bribes he was taking or paying or whatever. Ukraine didn't have that information, so Trump was trying to get them to give it to him anyways and cut off the military supplies we promised for 3 years. That's 3 years of military buildup Ukraine could have had that before Russia invaded, that they did not have because Trump wanted dirt on Biden's kid. Oh, Titan hopped in to say goodnight. Oh, no, Blonde, you're going to bed. Okay, good night. Good night, Blonde. Have a sweet dreams, whatever. Yeah, it's crazy the stuff our government's doing. The other one I love is everybody loves to talk about how corrupt things are in Ukraine. The only reason why we think Ukraine's corrupt is because when they find corruption, they put a story out about it. They shame the people publicly. and the world sees Ukraine taking out the corruption. Here in the States, in my state, South Dakota, there was this big plan to build a meat processing plant in our state. They even were selling green cards to foreign investors that invested a certain amount into this meat packing plant. They bought the land. They put up a building, and this was 7-8 years ago now. To this date, there's not a single piece of equipment in that building. No livestock have been brought into the building. Not a single steak, hamburger, or anything has been processed there. And in the neighborhood of $15 billion disappeared. Have you guys heard of this story other than me telling you it? One of those people that was involved in that was trying to be our vice president, but was rejected. Not because of this corruption of stealing $15 billion and selling green cards to foreign investors. No, because she shot her dog. But you didn't hear about the corruption she has. She did. Yeah, I think you all know who I'm talking about. There might still be one story out on the internet about it. A lot of it has been cleaned. But, these are all too new. Yeah, I'm not even sure I could find... Oh yeah, the dog scandal's there. So this is a little bit about it. EB5 funded Northern beef packers back in 2012. So someone's trying to buy the plant. I'll have to look it up and find the old story. I'll post it up on Blue Sky when I find it. Yeah, it's ridiculous, some of the crap that goes on, but we don't hear about it in the States because we just sweep it under the rug. Nobody hears about it. But, I've been in Kiev. I've tried to get stuff done in Kiev, and you can't just, slip somebody $100 and get your tax ID done quicker. You can't just bribe somebody and get your businesses registered quicker. It's not like everybody makes it out to be. Let's see, went through the news. No air alerts in Ukraine at the moment. It is 6:18 in the morning in Ukraine. I hate to say this, but I have classes with the Ukrainians tomorrow early in the morning. So I need to get my sleep. Thank you all for coming. I especially thank you all for supporting Ukraine. Have a good night. Stay safe, everybody. Love you all.